let's talk about this YAMI Yugi wig. So when most people think about crazy protagonist hair, Yugi usually comes to mind. All the spikes on this wig are hollow cores made of plastizote foam, which really helps to keep the weight down. Each spike is then covered with hair. The challenge when it comes to attaching hair to a core like this is that whilst I want the hair to be solid, because I don't want it to be removing and I don't want it to be coming off, I also still want it to look like hair. For this build, I used pre-textured loose fibres. I like the Fantasia line of Canikalon braiding hair from Cyberlux. It is brilliant. It has a really wide array of colours and they're fully textured without heavy crimp tracks into the fibres. The Fantasia line wefts come in a packet like this and you get about 80 grams of fibre for just under £4 before shipping. I usually buy them in bulk, and this is what they look like out of the packet. So you can see that they are lovely and smooth. You can't really see track marks in them, but they feel textured. They've got plenty of body. Now, textured hair has more volume than non-textured hair, so it takes less fibre to cover a surface area of a core than doing the same with the non-textured fibres. So with less fibre, that also means less weight. Very important. We've covered that before. Feel free to look at the video on wigs and weight. Now, there are all sorts of glues you can use to attach wefts. I usually use several types of glue for every project, and I will do a glue video at some point. But as a little preview, one of my favourites at the moment is this twist and glue solvent free from Yuhu. It's very watery, so it brushes through the fibres nicely. It's transparent when it comes out of the bottle, and then it dries transparent as well. It's more water resistant than tacky glue, but it can still be reactivated by water if needed. It doesn't give off noxious fumes. It's skin safe unless you have a very specific allergy, and all of that makes it a really big thumbs up in my book. After I've attached the fibres to my cores with a different glue, I then use this stuff a bit like a gel and spread and smooth it through the fibres and over the core to hold it in place, so then it dries clear. Now I airbrushed into the crevices of the spikes to give this lovely depth effect, and for the black sections I also airbrushed around those as well. In the back of the wig you can see I've used the faux hairline technique with a nice soft fringe of hair that will blend out into the wearer's neck and nape. Now this blonde part in front, which is the part that seems to scare most people, it's exactly the same method as these big spikes really, just with more geometry. I work a small section of hair at a time and I then leave it to dry before doing the next section, because otherwise I'm just self-sabotaging. Because these parts are a little bit more vulnerable to getting knocked, I did hot glue some wire through the back of each section before I covered it with hair, just to give it that little bit more strength. Follow for more wig tips and be more Charlotte!